It's recap time. 3, 2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Shower Podcast, the podcast where I'm in my shower and you do you. I'm your host, Chip, and this is not my usual intro. This is a bit of a special episode. Unfortunately, I will be away for a few days, and I found out this interesting way of filling the gaps with recaps from previous episodes. If this is your first time here, use it as an opportunity to find topics that you might be interested in and go back to listen to the original ones. If you are a usual listener of the Shower Podcast, well, again, this might be a rehearsal of topics that you might be interested in. Otherwise, I understand if you want to wait for me to be back. But in the meanwhile, the podcast needs to continue and we need to reach day 365. Having said that, I will not keep you longer. Thank you very much for listening. As always, a like and a subscribe. They are always welcome. And now, recap time.
Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, so you gave us a really specific task this week.
We did get our marching orders, yeah.
Dive deep into the last 3 episodes from host Chip over on his Shower podcast.
And it's quite a trio, actually. They really tackle some core pressures we're all feeling right now.
Definitely. From like the digital stuff we consume to how we actually use our downtime, even down to the basic choices we make without thinking.
It's a fantastic snapshot of modern mental fatigue. Honestly, if any of the ideas we talk about today grab you, seriously, go listen to Chip's originals, episodes 287, 289, and 291.
Yeah, well worth it. So our mission today is basically to pull out the biggest insights, connect the dots between them. We'll go chronologically, starting with episode 287.
Right, the one that introduced this pretty visceral term for the big digital challenge.
Yeah, he called it Slop.
Slop? It doesn't sound good, does it?
Not at all. And I think that's the point. Originally, it meant that really low quality, just churned out internet content, like junk food online.
Right, the clickbait, the endless memes, that kind of thing.
But Chip's argument now is that with generative AI, things like Sora 2 making these incredibly realistic videos from just text.
Yeah.
Slop is changing.
It's becoming something more insidious. Synthetic reality, he calls it.
A perfect digital feed, always on, showing optimized stuff.
And the key thing he flagged is the psychological hit it delivers. He pointed to research, like from Stanford's Virtual Human Interaction Lab, showing that even when you know you're looking at a hyper-real digital avatar, it still messes with your self-image. Your expectations for reality shift.
Hold on, though. Isn't that just comparison? Like, we've always compared ourselves to unrealistic images, models, and magazines.
It is comparison, but on steroids, basically. Chip cited studies from UPenn on social media. Even brief exposure to those idealized images makes people feel inadequate.
Right, okay.
Now imagine AI creating an alternate you, looks like you, talks like you, but better. Yeah. Fitter, funnier, richer, whatever the ideal is. An optimized version.
Wow. Okay, so you're not just comparing yourself to some random celebrity anymore. You're up against a seemingly perfect version of yourself.
Exactly. And Chip argues that's deeply corrosive. The danger is it just tanks your motivation to improve things in the real world.
Why bother with the effort?
Right. Your brain sees this digital shortcut. Why struggle? Why work? Why face setbacks? When a perfect, frictionless version of the outcome is just there. On a screen.
That hits on agency, doesn't it? Our feeling that we can actually do things, make changes.
Total agency drain. He brought up data from MIT's Media Lab. They found exposure to predictive AI content, the stuff algorithms think you'll like, actually reduces exploratory behavior.
How much?
By up to 35%.
35%. It's huge. Almost a third. Less curiosity, less trying new things, just because the feed got good at guessing.
Yep. The more you see exactly what you want, the less you look for anything else. Anything, unexpected or challenging, it kind of kills discovery.
And that's the trap with this new Slop, isn't it? It's utterly frictionless.
Completely. Zero effort needed. No patience, no action. Chip pointed out it works like gambling variable rewards. Highly addictive. You end up chasing the quick hit of stimulation, not the deeper satisfaction of actual achievement.
So if the poison is frictionless simulation,
the antidote has to involve friction.
Yeah.
Chip's solution was this idea of an opt-out mindset.
Meaning?
Consciously choosing reality, the messy, imperfect, sometimes difficult reality, because as he put it, citing Cal Newport, reality is earned, and that process, the earning, that's where the real value is.
Choosing the hard yards even when the simulation looks perfect.
Exactly. Which actually leads really smoothly into the next episode, doesn't it? If we're supposed to be opting out of easy digital stuff, how are we handling our actual, often very limited free time?
Ah, yes. Episode 289, Why Your Free Time Leaves You Empty.
This one hit home for me. Chip argues that using free time well, it's a skill. It needs training, like a habit.
Especially when it's scarce. When you've got this tiny window of leisure in a crazy week, we often freeze up. We struggle to prioritize, to focus. He got quite personal in this one, didn't he? Called it a shower diaries entry.
He admitted his own struggle, having maybe an hour free after a long day and defaulting to watching like 20 short YouTube videos instead of committing to a single movie.
Because the movie feels like a big commitment.
Exactly. He felt he was choosing activities that kept his options open, didn't restrict the possibility of switching to something else. Flexibility over depth.
I absolutely get that. I've done the same thing. That feeling of, 2 hours for a film. What if it's bad? What if I get bored? The fatigue makes commitment feel risky.
But that choice, that frictionless flexibility, it often backfires, satisfaction-wise. Chip used the example of doom scrolling. You know the feeling.
Oh, yeah. 20 minutes, maybe an hour goes by, you haven't moved, haven't done anything hard, but you feel awful, drained, lost, weirdly powerless.
Right. Despite doing nothing physically taxing. Why? Chip's point was about utility. Did you actually use that precious free time effectively?
And scrolling. Doesn't feel effective.
Precisely. Whereas active engagement, really watching that movie, paying attention, using your memory, getting emotionally involved, that can leave you feeling fulfilled. Like you used your brain, you invested something.
It feels like you did something with the time instead of it just vanishing.
Exactly. The passive frictionless stuff, it fails that maximization test we subconsciously apply to limited free time. It feels wasted.
So the takeaway isn't just don't doom scroll. It's more like actively choose leisure that gives back something, that offers satisfaction, not just distraction.
Which then begs the question, setting up the final piece, why do we keep choosing that unsatisfying, frictionless path? Why do we get stuck scrolling, like in IP 289? Or, connecting back to the first episode, why stick with our messy reality when that perfect digital slop is calling?
And the answer in episode 291 lies deep in our wiring. It's about the brain's default setting.
The status quo bias.
Right, the tendency to just keep things as they are.
It's a powerful cognitive shortcut. Our brain basically tells us that whatever we're doing now, however bad or unsatisfying it might be, is safer than changing. The current state is the known zone.
It's like we're programmed to hoard subscriptions, even if the subscription is to, mild unhappiness.
Pretty much. And Chip pointed out, referencing thinkers like Daniel Kahneman, this isn't just a vague feeling, it's driven by real psychological forces. First, loss aversion.
The idea that losing something hurts more than gaining something equivalent feels good.
And it hurts about twice as much, according to the research. Losing a habit, a routine, even something small we possess, it feels really bad.
And the second force.
The endowment effect. Basically, as soon as we own something, could be an object, an opinion, our usual coffee order, we automatically value it more just because it's ours.
Okay, so loss aversion makes us scared to let go of the current thing, and the endowment effect makes us overvalue that current thing. Put them together.
And you get powerful inertia. Change feels risky and costly, even if, objectively, it's the better option. The status quo feels cemented.
And the impact isn't just personal habits. Chip used these striking societal examples, what he called the checkbox effect.
Yeah, the organ donation one is incredible. In European countries where the default is that you are a donor unless you actively opt out.
You check a box to say no.
Right. Donation rates are over 90%. Massive.
But in countries where you have to actively opt in, where the default is not a donor, you have to check a box to say yes.
The rates crash. Less than 20%. The only real difference is the default setting on the form. Most people just go with default.
Wow. That's staggering. It's passive, but the consequences are huge.
Same thing with retirement savings, like 401ks in the US. When companies switch from you have to sign up to you're automatically enrolled unless you opt out.
Participation soared, right?
By over 30 percentage points. Again, just changing the default, the path of least resistance, got millions more people saving for retirement.
Okay, that's genuinely mind-blowing. If one little checkbox can shape decisions about saving lives or securing futures on such a massive scale, what defaults are running our lives?
Our media habits, our routines, how we spend our energy.
Right, that was Chip's challenge, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We can't just wish the bias away.
No, it's too strong. The solution he proposed is to consciously flip the default, to deliberately set up new automatic pathways that serve you better.
And he made it sound manageable, not like you had to change your whole life overnight.
Exactly. Start small. Pick one tiny default this week and change it. Like, switch your streaming app from autoplaying the next episode to just stopping.
Or deliberately order something different for lunch instead of the usual sandwich.
Yeah. The point isn't even necessarily that the new thing is magically better. It's about the act of changing. It trains your brain, reminds it that the current setting isn't sacred. You're still the one setting the defaults.
And he gave 3 little tools to help make it stick.
Yeah, to build momentum. First, name the default out loud. Just saying, okay, my default is scrolling Twitter when I'm bored, makes it concrete.
Acknowledging it. Okay.
Second, ask the killer question. If I were starting completely fresh right now with no history, would I choose this default? Often the answer is a clear no.
Ooh, that's a good one. Undercuts the endowment effect.
And third, pre-commit. Decide now what the alternative default will be for, say, the next week. Make the positive choice the easy path for a little while.
So you're kind of hijacking the bias, using that inertia for good, forcing the better habit until it becomes the new default.
You got it. The status quo bias is powerful, but understanding it gives you leverage. You can use its own stickiness to lock in better behaviors.
Okay, wow. We've covered a lot. We went from resisting that seductive, optimized slop that drains our real-world drive,
to demanding actual fulfillment from our precious free time, not just passive consumption.
and finally, learning how to actively fight, or maybe redirect, that incredibly strong status quo bias that keeps us stuck in suboptimal routines. It really feels like a sequence for reclaiming agency.
It really does. And maybe the final thought to leave you with, connecting all this. If something as simple as a default checkbox dramatically shapes societal outcomes like organ donation or retirement savings, just take a moment. Think about the unseen defaults you're currently letting steer your focus, your energy, maybe even your self-worth, without question.
Understanding those hidden settings, that's the real power, isn't it?
That's the starting point for consciously writing your own script.
Fantastic stuff. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Host Chip's work. Hopefully you feel a bit more equipped to maybe flip a default or two starting today.
Hope so. Until next time. See you tomorrow.